Today, I bring you the latest grand touring supercar Ferrari. This is the 812 Superfast, the most powerful V12 and the fastest front mid-engine Ferrari ever made, with a big naturally aspirated engine with comfort and sportiness. When you think of a car classified as grand tour, you think of any such car designed for specifically long distance driving, two-door coupe with 2 or 4 seats. They provide good ride quality and sometimes weigh more than 3,500 pounds. They mostly are front engine with luxury stuff and components and powerful engines, and are expensive to purchase. But this 812 is more than a grand tour. The name Superfast explains it all. Here are fun facts you need to know about the 812 Superfast and why this traditional V12 machine is the ultimate front mid-engine supercar. Most people don't think of grand tour when it comes to most modern Ferraris like this. We think how much the price it costs, how much horsepower the engine is making, and the pinnacle style of how the car looks. And is it actually worth the purchase? Well, you're talking about a car with ridiculous a lot of power and acceleration, plus a good sounding naturally aspirated engine. This 812 might be one of your favorites and be designed to test drive one of these. The grand touring Ferraris would be like the GTC for Lusso and the FF. Back in 2017, Ferrari unveiled the next generation tradition of the front-engine V12 of the 812 Superfast, appearing in red and debuted at the Geneva Motor Show in March 2017. The 812 of course replaces the outgoing F12 Berlinetta and the F12 TDF that was launched in 2012 and 2016 with a redesigned engine from the F12 series with 789 horsepower, making 59 more horsepower than the F12 Berlinetta, producing 730, while the TDF edition turned things up with a boosted 769, and then the 812 picks up where the TDF left off with 20 more horsepower. The engine is making almost freaking 800 horsepower, which is crazy insane, making it the most powerful and the quickest Ferrari ever made. In addition to that, it features a 6.5 liter naturally aspirated V12 that can accelerate 0 to 60 mph in just 2.7 seconds and can do 211 mph top speed, and has a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox, and the car weighs about 3,595 pounds and 530 pound-feet of torque and revs up to a screaming 8,900 RPMs. Yes, the engine appears to be very rev happy, with a direct fuel injection as well as variable intake tracks to boost the volumetric efficiency of the engine that is used in the LaFerrari, which explains the Superfast is producing similar numbers to the F12 and the LaFerrari, both with a 6.3 liter V12. In comparison to the F12, the 812 shares a dual clutch, although different rates from new gear ratios, with shifting times between gears up and down is quicker with sharpened throttle response. The 812 comes with new equipped with electronic power steering for the first time with Ferrari, carried over with a 4-wheel drive system from the F12 TDF. The Superfast is much more dramatic and aggressive with busy styling compared to the predecessor, especially at the rear end. At the back, you see the new design trend of the quad circular taillights that you'll find on the newest V8 replacement of the Ferrari 488, the F8 Tributo. The quad taillights was meant to trace its roots back where Ferrari used to design them, last seen on the Ferrari Maranello over 20 years ago. Then the 599 and the F12 followed up with double taillights of the lineup. Up at the front of the 812 features the new design LED headlights. Looks futuristic, taking similarity, shape, and direction like the F12. They are integrated into the air intakes on the hood and adjustable flaps at the front and rear of the car to control drag and downforce. My first impressions with the 812 Superfast, it looks angry and mean at the front with a large grille with the brand's horse badge, and interesting lines, and the engine sounds like something you don't get to hear every day. To me, Ferrari never disappoints with a great naturally aspirated sounding engine that resonates in F1 sound, because they care with the latest front engine Ferraris like this 812. It sure definitely sounds like an F1, as it should when revving up over 8,500 RPMs and even driving it. Unlike the twin turbo 488 and the F8 just doesn't sound as good like how the 458 did in the past, while being the last naturally aspirated mid-engine V8. While the 812 lasts, it is currently the best sounding Ferrari ever made at the latest with the naturally aspirated V12. Now, with that being said, with the specifications, we jump inside of the 812 Superfast. When you climb inside of the Superfast, it's radically simple. Getting in and out of the car is not an issue. I heard the car's seats with leather are comfortable to sit in and hugs you when you're driving and around a track. Now you notice the interior looks busy with modern luxury with nice buttons to touch and gives a great sport feeling. You'll also note the display screens in the center stack and even on the passenger side of this dash. The circle climate vents are in the center, one on the passenger side and one on the driver's side. You can literally move them up and down and adjust them however you want. The steering wheel seems to be onward with buttons towards the driver's hands to make them easy to adjust anything if you're on a racetrack or public roads. That's what I like about Ferraris, that everything is near your fingertips. Pretty smart. The turn signals are mounted on the steering wheel rather than behind it like on any other car. Mounted headlight switches too. Suspension buttons right there on the wheel for ride height, windshield wiper buttons. Below the wipers, there is a red dial that allows you to assist driving modes, like on any other Ferrari. Wet, you get sport, you get race, you get traction control off and stability control off. Below the yellow horse, which is the car's horn on the wheel, if the driver gets a phone call, there's a button for that as well. And the red button for the engine start-stop button to initiate the engine. Everything you may want to use in this car while driving it is at your fingertips on the steering wheel than just reaching anything else in the car just like any other car would. Most importantly, the center console is stacked with reverse, automatic, and launch control. Now you may be confused why this 812 Superfast doesn't have a drive mode or park mode. There is no drive button. Well, to set the car in drive mode, pull the right up shift pedal. To set this car in park, hold both pedals on the steering wheel at the same time, where you use to shift up and down. That converts it to neutral. Behind the steering wheel is all the information in the gauge cluster you need, so there is no available infotainment screen in the center like you see on other supercars or other sports cars, period. All the information is displayed behind the steering wheel inside the gauge cluster, and also on the passenger side too. Now, let's jump into the practicality. This is where it gets even interesting. The back trunk cargo space contains 17.7 cubic feet of trunk space. That is massive. Trust me, the 812 has a lot of room than you think. You can fit more enough luggages just like your regular daily sedan or SUV, which is unbelievable compared to its other rivals. That's a Grand Tour. But this is not just a Grand Tour, this is also a supercar. There's a lot of room in the interior, even for 6 feet tall guys, so definitely can be daily driven. Well, if it can be daily driven, if you can maintain a over $350,000 Ferrari, traveling long road trips, and even flying down on a racetrack. The 812 Superfast is the most powerful naturally aspirated car in the world, rocking almost 800 horsepower. And the sweeting thing about it is that it has the best sweeting sounding V12 ever combined in the latest. The shifting times are tremendously quick, with this car resulting 0 to 60 time in 2.7 seconds. It just flies like a rocket ship when the driver stomps on the gas. Without a doubt, that is too fast, which is the point of the name Superfast. And that's the reason why the Superfast earns its name from the get-go. And I feel like nothing can compete against this 812 that's naturally aspirated. While everything else is being twin turbocharged and hybrids and stuff, the 812 Superfast, they still managed to stay naturally aspirated, almost rocking 800 horsepower, which is crazy insane. And I'm pretty sure this 812 is the last naturally aspirated V12 Ferrari. This car just sounds so good that you will want to keep hearing it every single day. Every single time you drive it, it never gets old. And when it first came out, it was given a starting price at $350,000. And now you can purchase the 812 Superfast while still in production between $350,000 and $400,000. And then they made a convertible version of this coupe, which is the 812 GTS that was released in 2019, with a teeny bit of few adjustments and a teeny bit more horsepower. No other car that's naturally aspirated with a lot of power can even come close to the 812 Superfast. And I will give this a drive in the future, and you should test drive it too. And if you feel like this car is too powerful for all that money, then there are other Grand Tours like the Bentley Continental, the Aston Martin DB11, the Porsche 911, and plenty more that has more luxury. And now, that is the end car review of the 812 Superfast, and I hope you guys really did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to press the like button, and I'll see you next time for some upcoming videos. And you are more than welcome to give me any car suggestions. Now, without further ado, let's jump inside of the 812 Superfast and put the keys into the ignition, or just press the red button and start the engine. Adjust your headphone volume. Peace.